Everyone to our virtual open house 4216 Hatteras here in Burbank. We are just east of the 5 freeway and we are north of Burbank Boulevard, in between Burbank and Victory, and in between Clybourne and Buena Vista. So we are going to be doing a virtual open house, and we're going to be doing things a little bit differently today and try to actually share our screen and give you guys a real 3D virtual tour using Matterport technology. And then shortly after that, we will be doing a lifestyle video. And after that will be an extensive market update. And we'll be redoing this every hour on the hour. So you can always look back at some past ones that we've done, or you can wait for the next live virtual open house. If it doesn't go as planned, we will redo it like we've been doing it the last couple months. But we're going to try something new, and that way you guys can actually be on Facebook and actually see the 3D virtual tour. So with no further ado, we're going to actually get into it and show you the live 3D tour. So as you can see, this is the front of the house. It's very, very low water and very, very low management, so very, very easy to take care of. You're in the quiet little neighborhood of Burbank, and it definitely has a great screen. So as we pop into it, you will see that there's a vinyl wood flooring throughout, there's recessed lighting throughout, and this house has been totally redone. Right when you come into the front door, you have a little guest bathroom, perfect for like a powder room, and allowing the guests to use the bathroom without going back into the backs of the house. Everything's been modern and updated, and it's totally ready for you to move in with no expenses spared. The plumbing has been redone, all the electricity has been done, everything has been completely remodeled in this house. So you have dual pane windows, a working fireplace, again, vinyl wood flooring all throughout, and everything's sleek, modern, and everything's been custom done in this house. We're going to go into the back bedrooms. The first room that we have here is actually the indoor laundry room. It's perfect for a laundry room, as well as you can maybe make a little office, maybe a security room. So it's a perfect little room, utility room as well. We're going to go into the next bedroom. It's up in the front of the house. And front bedroom, again, everything's their vinyl wood flooring throughout, ceiling fans in every single bedroom, dual pane windows, a really nice closet. And do keep in mind that 3D Matterport, the coloring is not exact, and that's why we're going to play the lifestyle video after this to really show you the true coloring in this house. But this is really just to give you a floor plan and walk you through the house as well. So this is kind of like you're walking through. This is the next guest bedroom. Again, ceiling fans throughout, vinyl wood flooring, closet, and a little, maybe like a little homework nook area. Maybe you can put a little bench below the window to have some reading time. And everything is automatic lights in the closets and in that back little section. So we're going to go back into the guest bathroom. Guest bathroom is very, very modern and sleek. And again, the coloring is off, so don't look at the coloring as to be exact. Everything's been redone, new vanity, high quality backsplash. Again, everything's sleek and modern. And everything has a little bit of a touch and color to it as well. So we're going to come back into the main part of the house, go back into the living room. Again, it's a very open floor space in the living room, dining room. The kitchen has been redone as well. It has a nice little backsplash, really nice sleek countertops, and then as well as all the drawers and doors are self-closing, so they'll automatically close for you, saving you from some arguments. And again, no detail has been unleft attended. That door gives you access to the backyard, which your detached garage is in there as well. All the appliances are brand new, and nothing has been used in this house. So this is basically like moving into a brand new construction home, but you're in a neighborhood that has some character and personality to it. So we're going to come back into the master bedroom. The master bedroom is very cool. There's a little smart thermostat. And again, the master bedroom has vaulted ceilings, dual pane windows, a nice slider that leads up to your little private patio. And then we come into the bathroom. Behind that door is actually a huge master closet. Unfortunately, the Matterport did not pick it up, but it is a huge master closet. It almost could be a nursery room of about how big it is. And it's just ready for your imagination. Dual sinks in this house, or in this bathroom. Everything's, again, is modern and updated. A little lavatory section that's separated. And then as well as a very cool shower that has a sit-down spot, dual heads. Very, very cool and sleek. We're going to come back out here and come out to the outside. So this is your private patio where you can have a nice cup of coffee, maybe a glass of wine, and have a little bit of privacy from your house. So we're going to come out here, and you can see it's a massive yard. There's your detached garage, which can be turned into an ADU. Plenty of room and space, private gated parking. So you definitely have lots of privacy and lots of space in this house and in this backyard. So, and there's multiple sections on both sides of the house, which are great for, little seating areas, maybe some separation, some storage areas, as well as maybe just putting a nice little barbecue out on the right-hand side. So this property is just ready for you to move in. And with no further ado, we're going to play the live lifestyle video.
Electricity, brand new plumbing, AC heater, everything's been redone. Vinyl flooring throughout, recessed lighting, gas fireplace, even dual pane windows. This house truly has it all. So I love about this kitchen. It has a big island, maybe for some breakfast in the morning, maybe some beers with some buddies in the afternoon. And to continue on keeping people out of arguments, it's got self-closing doors and self-closing drawers. No detail has been left unattended. So as we come to the front wing of the house, there's the 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and laundry room. What I love about this is if you use it for a kid's bedroom, you never have to worry about arguing, please turn off the lights. These lights automatically turn on and off as they're done using it. How great is that? So as we come into my favorite room, the master bedroom, you got vaulted ceilings, a remote ceiling fan, as well as a walk-in closet that's big enough for all your needs. Couple that with a sleek, modern, sexy bathroom, and it really doesn't get any better than this. Top this bedroom off with a patio that you can have a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe a glass of wine at night, and truly enjoy your backyard. So this backyard truly tops off this property of having it all. We got a big enough backyard for the kids to play in, entertain your guests, and even room for a pool. And yes, my seller will put in a pool if that's what you desire. So to make this property even better, you're close to schools, parks, close to freeways, and even shopping centers. So if you or someone you know is looking to make this their own home, please give me a call, Cory Boldroff, the real estate guy. I promise to provide 5-star service.
So that is the tour of the virtual open house, and guys, to give you guys a good idea of the layout. If you do want a link to the 3D tour where you can take measurements, or you want to kind of see the whole layout on a dollhouse effect, please let me know, and I'll give you guys a link for that as well. We are going to do a market update here very shortly, but I just wanted to kind of intercept here, as well as let you guys know that we are doing private showings by appointment only. So if you do want to see this house, or you know someone that's looking for a house in Burbank, please send them my number. You can call me, text me, PM me, Facebook me, anything you want, a way to get a hold of me, and I can set you an appointment. We are going to be here from 12 to 6 today, so you can make an appointment anytime during that. We are strictly adhering to all the CDC recommendations and mandates, so you do need to bring a mask, and then we provide booties and gloves for everyone. There's only one single family allowed in at a time, and then we actually remove ourselves from the house to allow the person to see the home. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. But without further ado, we're going to show you the May market update. It is pretty extensive, but if you want to know kind of what's going on, how COVID has affected the market, this is the perfect video for you. It's not just me commentating, it's actually me showing you real stats and facts and what the experts are saying throughout the financial institutions, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So let me know if there's any questions, please let me know. Just chime in your little questions in the box and I'll make sure I answer them after this market update. We are going to be looping this every hour on the hour. Let me know what your guys' feedback is. If we need to add anything, slow something down, please let me know and we can do that. We're always trying to better ourselves to provide 5-star service for you guys. All right, stay healthy, stay safe, much love. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Here we go.
Hey, this is Cory, Boldroff, the real estate guy. This is our monthly market update for the real estate market, as well as kind of basing a little bit on the economy. We are in the middle of the coronavirus safer at home, but we have started softening those orders in some cities, counties, and local ordinances have actually removed them completely. So we're already starting to see our economy and the markets already respond. I do these market updates to be of service and to give value to my clients, friends, family, and those that are in the community. So please share this, like this if you do find this information valuable and resourceful. I don't just give my opinions, but we'll actually go through and look at the actual facts and stats and some of what the experts are saying. So with no further ado, let's get into the month of May market update. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is when is the economy going to fully recover? The good thing is everyone from Fannie Mae to Freddie Mac to the big financial institutions, they're all calling and predicting a V-shaped recovery, meaning that we did go down severely, but we're going to come up just as fast or even a faster recovery than we fell, which is great news for a lot of us. The major financial institutions are calling for a second half recovery. So as we came into the first quarter and the end of the first quarter and into the second quarter, we actually saw a restriction or a decrease into the GDP to about 4.8%. The numbers are still coming in. We have been through a wild ride and we are still experiencing some financial hardships and starting to see the financial indicators basically indicating kind of how severe this recession or downturn has been. But 3 of the 4 major financial institutions are actually seeing a recovery come in that third quarter, and 4 of the 4 are actually seeing the recovery happening by the fourth quarter, which is great news. Again, we are planning to and predicting to actually come back and fully recover by the end of this year, which is awesome. One of the things that we have to look at, and what they do look at, is historically we look at the business science. We look at how the economy has responded from similar slowdowns in the past. So they look at what happened in the 2006 recession, kind of what happened in the end of the 90s, the 80s, and also back into the Great Depression. But this is a particular time where they actually have to put in some other factors like the health science, like when will the COVID-19 be under control? Or is there going to be a vaccine? Is there a medicine, a cure? Are social distancing working? Are there certain protocols that we can put in place? So, and also comes into, are we going to go into another safer at home quarter? We just don't know that right now. So that's one of the sciences we have to look at. Also, we have to look at is the people science. After businesses are fully operational, how long is it going to take for that American consumer to return to normal consumption patterns? I.e. going to the movies, attending sporting events, flying and traveling. What we have seen over the last couple of decades is people have gone into buying things from across the globe, buying out of non-made American products, going to the bigger conglomerates and big corporations to get that lowest price. what we've kind of already seen during this COVID is people are becoming especially aware of how important local businesses are, and that people are reaching out to support those local businesses, donating, really making sure that we're doing our part. And it's actually going into the narrative of people wanting to buy American products again. So I think it's actually going to help the economy, as the small businesses are the backbone to our business. So hopefully people stop buying from Amazon and start going to their local retailers again. People start going into those stores to actually touch physical things, but also to help realize that those local businesses are owned by local people in the community, and that's really what helps economies grow. You start from a standpoint, from a micro standpoint, and it does actually go out. It's not big words on down little words. So it's a good thing that where we're headed. Nowhere in any prediction from Fannie Mae to Freddie Mac to any of the financial institutions to any of the major experts, economic experts, are they seeing it now. So meaning that we're falling down and that we're just going to stay flattened off. No one is predicting that. Everyone is predicting that we're going to have a boom back and we're going to come back just as strong, or maybe stronger than we were before this COVID virus, which is awesome news. Although the uncertainty of the crisis means forecasts of the economic activity are more unclear than usual, we expect that most of the economic damage from the virus will be contained in the first half of the year. Going forward, we should see a recovery starting in the second half of 2020, which is Sam Gettner, the chief economist at Freddie Mac. Evidence is also mounting that home buyers may be coming back into the market after demand plummeted in the past months due to coronavirus. I really have seen this happen basically from the end of last month to the beginning of this month, but really last Thursday that just passed, I believe it was the 8th or the 7th, the real estate market has started to boom. So as the safer at home orders and as we've been deemed essential and now that we're allowed to start doing private showings, the buyer demand is through the roof. One of my listings we put on the market on Thursday, we already have 8 offers, way above asking price, and they're solid offers. So this is great news. If you're thinking about selling, now might be the best time to put your house on the market because we have such a low inventory shortage. The impact of the COVID of the real estate showings in North America. So we did have one of the highest January and Februaries in home sales that we've ever had. It was through the roof. As we hit the, and usually it takes a lot longer into the year. Usually the buyer demand doesn't happen till the month of May. And buyer demand already happened very beginning of the year. And low interest rates, historically low interest rates have been a driver of it. But also I think the economy is doing really well where people want to start buying homes. The home showings actually came to almost a wall decline. I would even think it's more severe than that because at a certain point the government said you're not allowed to show homes. So then you can't show homes legally. Over the last 4 weeks, we've seen an increase, and I bet if we do this graph one more time in about a couple of weeks, we're going to see a graph that looks like this. It has been through the roof. I have 10 listings throughout Southern California, and every single one of my listings has had at least a dozen showings in this last couple of days. So that is great news. We had 32 people show up by appointment only at our open house, which again is great news. Everyone was wearing their mask. Everyone was adhering to all the CDC recommendations, one family at a time. But it just goes to show you that the buyer demand is there and that people are being respectful and understanding of this virus. Another thing that we want to look at, and it takes us into, is U.S. home ownership rate. So the amount of people who own a home in America, we were at one of the all-time highs in 2004. But then we went in a huge decrease with a lot of people losing their homes in foreclosure, loan programs being restrictive, interest rates being so high, where the demand went down and also the home ownership rate went down. About 3 years ago, we started seeing an increase, and actually we took a huge jump this last year. A lot of it is because people that are renting are finally sick of paying rent. They're actually paying more to rent than they are to buy, so it's just not making sense. And it's increasing this home ownership rate. And I believe over the next 3 to 4 years, we're actually seeing a bigger increase, and we might hit the all-time high, which would be awesome for Americans. The median asking rent, which is kind of what I was just talking about, has gone sky high. Since 1988, we've exponentially went up, and now it's actually superseding the mortgage payments. It's actually, again, cheaper to own a home with your mortgage payments than it is to rent. So there are a lot of programs for first-time homebuyers that allow them to get into a home with literally no money out of their pocket, which is great because down payment and closing costs has been one of the #1 reasons why people in California can't buy. So now they have programs that will allow you to get assistance for those down payments and closing costs. And people, even though a lot of millennials are starting to come out and say, I don't want to rent, I want to start owning a home, investing in my future, building up that equity, and taking advantage of the appreciation. Percentage of home ownership and equity. So we're at an all-time high. There's over $15.5 trillion in equity right now. Over $7.8 trillion of equity is actually attainable. So 42.1% of the homeowners own their home 100%, meaning they have no money owed on it. There's no loan on the house, which is at the historical high. We've never been at this high of home ownership equity. Then you go into the next percentage, which is the 16.6% of own at least 60% or more in their home. Again, between those two, we're up at 68, 69% of own the home, at least more than 50 or 60% of the home. That's the historical astronomical number. It also goes to show you that the homeowners have learned from the 2008 crisis that you shouldn't just use your home as an ATM, pull it out and use it for luxury items, buying cars and boats and going on fancy vacations. But people are starting to do smarter things like pay for their kids' education, invest into businesses, invest into long-term annuities and safe things, which again, if you have equity in your home, I do believe you should take it out, let the bank take that risk, but you put it into a long-term annuity, put it into an insurance product, put it something where you're growing that interest rate and you can capitalize on it. Because your home's going to appreciate no matter how much equity is in your home, it's still going to appreciate by the same amount. And the only way you lose in home ownership, if you can't afford the monthly payment, the only way you can't afford the monthly payment, if you don't have money sitting into the bank. So as long as you're disciplined and you're not going to go out and buy stupid things with it, it's the smartest thing to do. If you're not thinking about selling in the summer, please refinance. We're at historically low rates. Get that 30-year fix at 2.25%, 2 3/4, 3%, and hold on to it because it's going to be the best thing that you can do. So that way, no matter if they raise rates or the next administration raises rates at an astronomical rate, we can still be okay, which is unlike the 2008 crisis. So again, this just kind of goes into more of the thing that 58.7% of people own, oh, sorry, my number is a little wrong, own 60% of equity in their home. 52% or 42% own it outright, and there's over $177,000 in average equity of this 58.7%. So there's a lot of equity sitting in people's homes. There's a lot of money that can be invested into the economy. So as people start pulling out their equity, as people start selling their homes, that money's just going to go back into the economy, even if it's in these huge conglomerates that invest into insurance products, into malls, into retail, into businesses, and things like that. It's all good news, guys, all great news. So let's talk about, because we can't talk about coronavirus without talking about jobs. So there was a lot of jobs lost, and if you did lose your job, I know you're one of the millions, maybe even 30+ million Americans that are unemployed, and it's sickening. I know it's saddening, but we do have good news that a lot of the people who are employed, it's just a temporary thing. So as we look at the next chart, we can look at in the start of the March, at the height of we're closing our doors because the government's not allowing us to be in business, we're at 6.9 million people filed in the month or in that week of March. Now to the last week of May, we're down at 3.2. Now nowhere am I saying that 2.2 million people who are filed for unemployment is a good number, but it does show that we've already hit our peak of unemployment, that we've headed down. So if you're unemployed, you're probably already unemployed as of right now, and you're more than likely not going to be filing for unemployment in the next weeks to come as we lift the stay-at-home order and people start getting back to work. So let me give you a breakdown of who is unemployed right now. So the largest portion is at 37%. So over a third come from restaurants, servers, and bartenders. Obviously, they were the first ones that hit, said you're not allowed to stay in business. And even if they are allowed to stay in business, it's at a restricted, limited employee rate. So a lot of people went unemployed. But we do know that as they lift the stay-at-home order, restaurants start coming to business, they'll need to bring back those bartenders and those servers, and that'll account for a lot of people that are unemployed, and they'll be back on the employment and participation rate. The next is retail. So we're at 10.2% in retail. Well, again, we know they shut their doors not because they're going out of business, but because the government said they're not allowed to be in business. On a side note, I don't know how Amazon was allowed to stay in business over retail because they could have done the same thing and pick up or deliver. So I'm not sure. We'll get into that later. But as we can see, the next portion is temporary services like realtors like myself, for service professionals who aren't allowed to stay in business. Now, as we are allowed to be deemed essential, or those businesses are allowed to conduct their business, we will come off unemployment and back into the employment world. As you can see throughout the thing, most of those people are just temporary, and that's where we take to our next graph. So, of the people that are employed, we first want to start at the first graph. There's 14.7% of Americans who are unemployed, which is one of the highest rates we've ever been in the history of our country besides the Great Depression. But it also goes to show you that there's actually 85.3% people who are still employed, government officials, government politicians, essential businesses, and other businesses that are deemed to be able to stay in business, which is a great thing because it means that there are still a lot of Americans still working. Now, again, if you lost your job, my heart does go out to you. I do know it's a real thing, and people are on the brink, but I'm hoping with the CARES Act, people are able to stay afloat during this time, and that way when they get back to work, it's easier to jump back up on their feet. Of this graph, you can also see that the temporary unemployment is 90%. So they're only predicting that 10% of the people who are actually unemployed are going to be permanently unemployed. Now, we don't know this for sure, but we do know, as I just showed you in the previous graph, a lot of these businesses, as they open, will need their employees back and will get back to work, as we were in the historically low unemployment rate. We were at the highest participation rate we've ever been in the history of our country. As you can see, we break down the percentage of people who are employed. 13% were men, 15% were women, and unfortunately 31.9% were teenagers. So not only are they not allowed to go to school, they weren't allowed to go to their work, and or those were the first people that were let go, as we wanted to keep the household income earners to stay employed and allow the people that we supported on these household income to maybe stop coming to work or be unemployed. Again, these numbers are great in the thing of the recovery and looking at how fast we are going to recover. So as the governors and local ordinances pull those home orders, we'll be able to get back to work and the economy is going to boom and take off. A little bit more in depth, as you can see over in the Great Depression, there was a 12-year span between people coming unemployed and actually getting back up into the workforce. In the Great Recession from 2006, it took about 9 years to recover. Now that our economy is going and booming, and it was booming, all the indications say it was, we're seeing less than a 2-year turnaround, which is great for any type of recession to recover that fast. It just means that it might have been a little bit more artificial, and there might be underlying conditions like the coronavirus that actually had to do with the recession rate, rather than it actually being the economy wasn't as strong as that we once believed it was. The biggest threat, so, in the media, they were saying the real estate market's going to crash. We're going to come into a 2008 crash, and people were out there that are selling books on what you're supposed to do. Yes, there was a lot of political and media-driven hysteria and fear that was in this, but I can tell you that even through this coronavirus, houses still were selling. Yes, did it slow down? Of course it did. But as we've lifted in different states and in California and different counties, we've already seen a demand in that buyer demand come back in full, and maybe even stronger. I believe if you are unhappy with where you're living, you're really unhappy with where you're living right now. So this is all good news, but I can tell you one of the biggest threats to keep our economy down is if we don't have more listings come out. So if you're thinking about selling, you're actually helping our economy by listing your home. So reach out to your local realtor, reach out to me, and I can probably help you. If you don't live in Southern California, I can help you throughout the nation find a reputable realtor who has experience connecting buyers and sellers during this time so that we can have a successful sell and help our economy get back. Housing supply remains at historically low levels, so house price growth is likely so, but it's not going to go negative. That's the First American title with the TCAT with them. So again, We didn't see actual decrease in prices during the coronavirus, maybe some distressed homes or some panic sellers, but not as a whole. I mean, if we were to go through and I look at the MLS of your neighborhood, you'd probably see actually more increases in prices than decreases in prices, especially in home sales or active homes in the last 30, 60, 90 days. So what we can come to in here is in February, the seller's traffic. So we were at historical lows for inventory, and in March it fell off. But you can see when we look at buyers, the buyer demand was through the roof. It was strong in almost every single state across the nation. And yes, it did slow down in March, but it just goes to show you it slowed down because of the coronavirus, not because of any other economic indicators. So as we come after the stay-at-home order, that dire demand, I believe, is going to become stronger. And if there was a deeper, darker blue, I think it would be all across America. The buyer demand is through the roof right now. Interest rates are historical lows. We're just hovering under 3%, which is I think a 45-month. There's only been 45 months in the history of our country that we've been lower than 3%. And that's awesome for buyers because your interest rate actually affects your monthly payment and your overall what you pay for a house more than sales price does. Freddie Mae and Freddie Mac, their 30-year mortgage interest rates, as you can see, they've gone up and down. And in 2019, we had a little bit of pressure put on them, and they've gone down ever since, which is great. But they've done it at a healthy rate. So you can see they're jumping down by a quarter, maybe a little over a %, every single quarter, unlike they did in 2004 to 2006, where they dropped down by a %, 2% every single quarter, and that wasn't good. So we can see we're at historically lows at 3.1%, and I actually think it's actually lower than that because the rates actually dipped right under that 3% in February. It dropped to 2.75 or 2.875, which created a refi boom to the point where actually they had to artificially raise their rates just to slow down people refinancing. New home sales, so it's how fast a home sells from the time it gets put on the market to the time it actually closes. Now, do know that it does, on average, take about 45 days to close. So you can see that the average home was sitting on the market for about 29 to 33 days, which is a shortage. If it's not at a 6-month period of home sitting, that means homes are selling faster than the demand is there for. So there's still a buyer demand for homes, and that's what's driving our market. Existing home sales, so we went through the roof in January, February. As you can see, they've been climbing, which is a great indication of how we're going to continue on in 2020. And existing home prices. So in the West, we've gone up by 8% in some markets, a little lower than that, in some markets a little higher, but it means that we have been appreciated. And over the last 7 years, we've been slowly appreciated at a healthy rate. We are getting close to the height of the market, but it's a great time to buy because interest rates are so low. We might not be there yet, but we will see a turn happen over the next couple of years, but not a crash, not a huge downturn, just a slowing down of the appreciation rate. It'll just depend on what they do with interest rates and what our economy does will depend on how home prices are affected. Just because there is a recession does not equal a home sales price or a home crash in the market, as you see in my April 14th market update. Percentage of distressed homes. So as you can see, 2012, a third of the homes that were selling were distressed, either foreclosure, short sales, bank-owned properties that were losing. Right now, we're at historical lows. We're at 3% of homeowners are actually in foreclosure, which is actually very, very low. We're almost at a crisis rate because people aren't refinancing their homes. So banks are actually going out of business, not because that. So this is all and worse. So if you want a copy of this, please know. Please know that I'm here to answer any of your guys' questions. If you have a certain neighborhood you want me to do a micro update on what's going on with your real estate market, please let me know. Above all else, please stay safe and healthy during this time and know that I'm just a phone call away. Even if it has nothing to do with real estate, me or one of my 6 kids we'll be able to talk to you and maybe hopefully bring you some humor and some positivity in the world. I love you guys all. I thank you guys all for your support and time and referrals. It definitely is the backbone of my business. And until next time, we do these every single month. Cory Boldroff, the real estate guy, delivering 5-star service with a smile. Till next time.
So as you can see, that is the completion of the May monthly market update. I hope you guys found it useful. Please let me know your feedback, whether you like this virtual open house tour or you preferred it the other way around, where I just kind of did the camera walk around area. And again, if you guys have any questions about the market, about your particular neighborhood, maybe you want to come over and look at your house to see how we best prepare for the market, please let me know. There's never any pressure, no obligation, just some friendly advice that's knowledgeable and uses my experience to give you that advice. So with no further ado, we're going to take a break, and we will be back on the hour every hour. Hope you guys found it useful. Let me know in the comments whether you liked it or not. Thank you very much.